everybody. Welcome to the After Hours show.
The vibe, man. I'm super stoked. Hennessy has been something I've been trying recently. Went to a party actually with, as a matter of fact, it was my friend's. He baptized his daughter, and so he shot me on to it was Red Bull, cranberry juice, and Hennessy.
Okay.
And so it just sort of inserted into my catalog of alcohols, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, mango's my
the right
favorite
mix.
fruit in general. Like I just
Okay.
love like mango. I grew up with mango. I would eat the skin.
Yeah.
Everything about mango, I just enjoy. As
Yeah,
a kid, my
that's
mom
cool.
would just hand me the whole mango.
Mango's a good fruit.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't into fruits growing up that much. I was kind of a picky eater. But I got into mangoes later. They say mangoes like ups your high, like THC.
Oh,
I
yeah?
don't know if you've ever heard that.
No, I haven't.
There's
No.
like a chemical in the mangoes that would do something like that.
It's just a amazing fruit. It really bridges the gaps of cultures. Like I had Indian friends growing up in the college years, and just going out to buffets, the Indian buffets, and having a mango lassi, which is like yogurt and mango puree mixed.
Okay.
So I really enjoy those too. I've just been a big fan of mango. So this drink really it fits my craving. But yeah, I've been doing my show Saturdays at 4 p.m. with Pirate Butte Radio. This was established in 2023 with Tristan. And before that, I've been doing radio also for like since 2017 or 18 in Central Oregon, and just kind of rolled into Pirate Butte Radio as a offspring. So now we have our own thing on the Zenu Radio app. Been really keeping that busy weekly. So piratebuteradio.com, that's PBR. After I left community radio, I was a volunteer from for a few years, and then just been doing live music as a hobby. Reggae music is something I've always enjoyed. In the original show, I was interviewing many artists. I'd interview the Abyssinians, I interviewed Warrior King, Turbulence.
Dope, yeah.
A lot of the old school reggae roots artists to more of the unfamiliar Jamaican artists that are coming out right now, like Jadon.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are some deep cuts, like in the reggae scene, the Abyssinians. Like, how did you get into that, man?
So I live in Bend, Oregon, and their population is roughly like 120,000. And in something like that, it's not so common for these big acts to be going up against competition in these small towns. Like being out here in our community here, which I was born and raised in this area with IE, and it's great, but it's very, when you have cities butted up against cities, there's options, and it just seems like you're a small fish in a big ocean of people. Whereas like down there, I just think what's happening is when an interviewer comes around in these small communities, the artists are more open to this idea of like, oh, hey, I'm going to take a shot and let this person interview me. And it was where I got I broke ground with interviewing with with Jameer and Morgan. That was my first interview. And I was so nervous. I remember that there's a festival called Winterfest. I got the invite to see Jameer because I like physically went to the stage and asked if I could interview. I didn't know what I was doing. Joe Mersa was kind of my goal. I wanted to really focus on getting an interview with Joe Mersa, but I had a script that I wrote out for him and everything, and I ended up just like relaying those questions from my script to Jameer. And it was the type of thing where it's like you don't know if you're going to get the interview because you're just kind of taking some leaps. So I ended up like waiting by the stage after asking him, and then it came down to going to his bus. I knocked on the bus door. I'm just like, hey, and then all the next thing you know, Jameer answers the door and he lets me in. Gives me legal ID, dub plate, material. Like it was just so good. It was such a good first interview. I was super grateful for that, man. But yeah, interviewing kind of came up through that, and then it just kind of progressed. Like it went from just like taking whoever
Yeah.
to like, hey, this person's in town. Like I'm getting emails,
Yeah.
and then I start getting offers for different people. So
Almost like the secret to that was maybe coming from a smaller town and being the only person in Bend doing that stuff. Or
yeah, well, I wouldn't say I was the only one. The original OG was Seth Friday. He's an instrumental selector and
okay,
DJ in the community that I'm in. Big up DJ Colonel,
okay,
respect to Simmer Down Sounds. Yeah,
see,
always.
yeah,
He was actually, Echoplex, Dub
yeah,
Club.
yeah.
The vibe of the Echoplex, they had a room, they had a building called the Domino Room. Very similar. You walk in and it's like low ceilings
Yeah.
and there's like a pole there, like holding the ceiling up. And then
Okay.
it like leads you to the open floor of the dancing area. And then
Yeah.
so the Domino Room's a lot like that in Bend, Oregon. And so what happened was, when I had got there in 2015, in August of 2015, the kernel was spinning, and
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, there's DJs out here that are doing this. I'm so excited because this is a big part of me. I love reggae music. I've been selecting, I was beat matching on Chingy, 12-inch
Yeah.
records, just trying to get
Yeah.
those singles dialed in on the beat matching, with belt drives, have you. And I had a Gemini dual mixer during that time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was using belt drive records, turntables to mix on the dual mixer, and that's how I kind of started the DJ experience. But then rolling into the scene with interviewing and stuff, it really just was about, I guess, time and place. And a part of it could be that, like, I can't say it's a formula or anything like that, but
Yeah.
you kind of feel it in your heart when you know what you want.
Yeah.
It's more, I think it's more about that than anything,
Yeah. It just aligned.
Mm-hmm. Because a little bit of
Yeah.
this, a little bit of that. I couldn't say, oh yeah, just move to a small town and start producing. At that point, you're creating something in that community that hasn't existed, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of work. And I couldn't say that I did that. I would say it was like the Colonel. Then you had DJ Mystic, who, okay, dig this. DJ Mystic, Central Oregon. Shout out to DJ Mystic. Was formerly, well, no, he's MC Mystic, but he was rolling it was prior to 2015. He was rolling with MC Truth, which
Okay.
was previous to his current name, Modest Yahoo. He was known as MC Truth.
MC Truth.
and
Wow.
and so
Yeah.
so Mystic and Truth were just sort of ciphering in
Yeah.
in Central Oregon
And
and
this is
Bend.
Oregon. Okay. Is
Yeah,
that where Mighty's Yahoo's
yeah,
from?
yeah.
Oh,
Well, no,
wow.
he wasn't from there, but the word was that he was like he worked in the education system,
Yeah.
and MC Mystic still works in the education system, and he's a wonderful DJ. He hosts Mystic Radio Mondays on KPOV. Anyhow, he when Modest Yahoo comes to town, guess who's going on the tour bus? Mystic's there. He's visiting him and greeting him. And then and yeah, so there's these OGs in my city that are like,
Yeah.
they're plugged in and they're just genuine humble people. They just want peace.
That's cool.
It's
They're
really
like the
good vibe.
ambassadors, the
They are
reggae
ambassadors.
ambassadors right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. And so we
That's
we and we
cool.
and we Mystic, Colonel, myself, we're like holding it down in terms of the reggae vibe on the radio. So
And
those are,
have you ever played a show? Like, what was your first show in Oregon like when you first
oh
touched down
man.
to the Oregon scene?
Oh wow. So okay, my first band was Rubber Tree with Seth Doomday. Okay, we're moving from Seth Friday to Seth Doomday.
Seth Doomday.
Seth
Okay.
Doomday
So a
was
lot of
it,
Seths in Oregon.
yeah, there are a lot of Seths in Oregon. Yeah, shout out to Seth Akorolo, Seth Doomday,
Oh wow.
you know.
Yeah, all the Seths.
All the
Shouts
Seths
out.
in Bend, we love you. So yeah, Rubber Tree is out there tearing it up. They're opening up a show with Fortunate Youth. We sort of moved in, the drummer, the bassy, and myself, we rolled into more of a roots reggae project. And
Okay.
and so we've been rolling with that for the past 3 years now, and it's called Soldiers Rising, and
Okay.
it's just been a really great project. But yeah, just been able to connect and branch out on live shows with Soldiers Rising. But I'd say my first live performance was just with Jah Yogi. You remember Free of Time, right?
Yeah.
I produced that track in Bend again,
Okay.
and then we started playing it on the streets live. I was trying to get these, like, I was trying to play the bass and sing,
Oh wow,
and
that's
it's
so
like
hard.
I am never
Yeah.
gonna do that again. It is
Oh
so
man, it's
hard,
so hard.
like
Yeah.
for my brain to play the bass and sing. I could play keys now and sing, but it's taken me some time to even get that dialed.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
a
tough,
linear. I
dude.
found that visually, I'm a linear learner. Like I have to learn visually in a linear
Okay.
way, and that's
Yeah.
why the keys work for me. Because
Yeah.
I've been
Because it's
playing,
straight out. Yeah. It's
I've been playing guitar for years, but
yeah.
to visualize all the notation, because they all start in different areas, I get overwhelmed. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this starts at E, this starts at A, this starts at D. That means I gotta run the scales, and I'm like
Yeah.
looking at
Different
different
places.
notations for like 6 different like strings. No way, dude. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And sing, you
Yeah, I
know.
feel that, dude. It's tough, man. Bassing and singing, you got the two melodies going on. I remember I saw Cheeky's once from the Fortunate Youth,
Yeah,
or no, from Expanders. Cheeky's, he was the bass
cheeky.
man.
Okay, yeah, the expanders. That's right.
Yeah, and then I had just seen him at the bar. I'm like, yo, Cheeky's, like, yo, how do you do it, bro? Like, what's
Hmm.
the secret to just bassing and singing? Because it's hard, you know? And the homie got serious. Like, he was like vibing during the
Oh,
time, and he got serious. And he looked at
yeah.
me, bro, and he was like, bro, like, you got to have the fire under your ass. Because it was hard. Like, you know, he was like, oh, dude, like, what you're asking is a serious thing. It's hard.
Well,
And
you
he
have
let
to
me
think
know,
about it.
yeah.
You know, you're okay when what sits on top of the rhythm when there's lyrics. The
Yeah.
freaking voice does, right? And so you're holding down the lead vocals,
Yeah.
which, granted, yes, you could make some mistakes, but you got to do it strategically and artistically. You
Yeah.
cannot mess up majorly with your vocals,
Yeah.
nor can you mess up majorly with your bass
Yeah, the
lines.
rhythm, man.
The rhythm, you can't mess up at all with the bass line. It's like
Yeah,
it's so
people will
much more
feel it.
worse. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
gonna feel that more
they're
than
gonna
like
feel
just
it.
of like you know, you can verbally like admit when you mess up on vocals, but like with the bass, there's no one like
Yeah.
your admission is exposed right away. You know,
Yeah.
you're like
Yeah,
you
I
have no
just
chance
felt
to
it. Yeah,
confess.
a
You're like
lapse in the dancing,
yeah,
right in the groove. It was like, what was that?
yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so anyways, Free of Time was like it was like being able to leave Cali, leave Ontario, leave Upland, Rancho,
Yeah,
and leave with that prize of Free of Time. You
yeah,
know, that was like the breakthrough. Using my artist name has been a gateway.
yeah,
Just starting alone and saying, okay, this is me. I'm Jah Yogi. You know, I was gifted. I was crowned Jah Yogi from Jah G, my
yeah,
mentor. You know, big up Guyana, big up Mocha Arcadia. You know, the
yeah.
Demerara River.
Yes, sir.
You know, Guyanese man, they're making the Carib vibes grow, and I'm giving so much respect. Keep big up
Yeah,
Carib
man.
Nation, big up Jamaica,
Yes,
you know,
I big
Virgin
up every
Islands,
time.
Bahamas, like so many people, St. Kitts, like so many islands
Yeah,
that
man. The
it's not
all of
just yeah, yeah,
them.
the all of them. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
And anyhow, I think like that's been the thing is also has been my success too, has been able to I always say this, diversify your market.
Yeah,
As a musician, diversify your market. I do what I can as a business model. I do commercial advertisement. I do booking. You know, I do sound setup. I do, you know, play in a live band. I do radio,
yeah,
but I don't do it all at one time. Like just
yeah.
two of them at one time. You know.
Yeah, that's real, man. The rule of twos, right? You
Yeah,
only
like when I did this big booking on January 24th, uh, I I did I booked it 5 months prior, and for the first 2 months, I was creating commercial advertisement. I was sending out emails. I was recording commercial ads. And by the time I start like the middle of December hit, I'm like I'm done. I'm going into rehearsal mode. I'm
yeah.
gonna play keys and sing. That's what I'm focused on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anything that came my way, I would see if I could delegate it. I would say, hey, yo, Matt, can you do this for me? Yo, hey, you know, I need this done. Can you get these printed? You know,
Yeah.
start delegating that. Don't be afraid to delegate
Yeah,
because
that's a real
yeah,
thing, man. I feel like focus is more about like what you start saying no to, right? Oftentimes, like that's what
yeah,
it is. It's like, oh, I can't do that. And
or
that shows your focus.
what the
Like,
yes looks like. Okay,
yeah,
like if I know that this is a no for me, how can this be how can this come to fruition, right? Like you're not going to be water, sunlight, and fertilizer. You gotta figure out
Yeah.
all those components
Yeah.
to create like a successful show. And that's why you have to diversify your model, because
Yeah.
you're not always going to be able to depend on one of those things.
If
I've
you-
been learning a lot about that, like in this last year, just as a hobby with music. And just, I'm not saying that I know everything, but I do feel like I have these things, these
yeah,
strategies to
skills.
go with my gut with, you know. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna just try this out, and if it works, great.
Because it's real, like 2026, being an artist, right, or a musician, you got to be like a creator too, a content creator now. It's almost like that's the game.
Yep, and I mean it's gonna get more that way, but I also think content has power and influence, right? So, you know, one of these things. Here's my thing. I'm gonna stand on my soapbox about this. I really am not for subscription based stuff.
Oh yeah,
You know, like
that's like the
you know,
business hack. All these
right,
businesses are switching because it makes sense, right? If you just get people paying forever, and
right.
it's
But how far is it gonna go, and how much of
I feel
our information, including the music that we listen to, including, you know,
yeah,
the movies we watch, like how
yeah,
much of that are we going to give to somebody else? Because,
yeah,
you know, I'd love to know that my catalog is my catalog. That's what we grew up on. You know, we grew up
yeah,
on having records, we grew up on having cassettes, CDs. Once you buy it, you own it. That's it. You
yeah,
have your cassette player, you have your
yeah.
CD player,
That's
you know.
crucial as a DJ too.
Right.
Like imagine, like you gotta have your songs.
Yeah, and then you pay that
Start
one
going
time
to this.
fee, and then the artist goes up against the industry, and that was a whole ordeal in the past. But you could listen to the song as many times you want until the cassette falls apart, you know.
Yeah,
Then you buy it again. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like I want to really promote analog media, media that's more like hardware based. There
yeah,
is something about connecting your brain to your hands, you know,
yeah,
putting a record on a turntable, putting a cassette inside of
yeah,
a stereo.
yeah,
When you study that album and you put it in, and you have to like really know what year it was made, what label came out with it, you know, the context of that period, or you don't have to, but it's like there's a history there. Whereas, like, if I just have Spotify, I can be like, oh, this sounds cool. I'm going to add it to my playlist. And it's sort of instant gratification. And it's so convenient that there's really less meaning right there.
yeah.
So I don't
I
know. I
think
think we need to start pushing back in a sense where we're bringing meaning into our world more, and
yeah,
more
for sure.
intention, right? That's sort of the goal with my thing. And I'm done with my soapbox on that. Like I think intention is the main point. It's right. Like it's like with all this information we're giving out, we're losing the intention of it.
Definitely filtering through the stuff. Like I feel like there's a lot of back in the day you would listen to an album, right? And then after listening to it a couple of times, there was always the hits, right? The mainstream hits. But then you would have like the deep cuts on the album, like track 8 or 9, and that might be like one of your favorite songs, but it wasn't a hit, you know. I called them hidden bangers.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good way to
in
describe it.
today's generation, like you won't get those because you're just kind of getting the hits, and since you can totally pick what you want, everybody's curating their playlist, and I feel like a lot of those songs just get washed out, you know, like some like the
Yeah.
you know, some songs grow on you,
Yeah.
like
Oh
you know,
yeah.
it takes a good amount of plays, or maybe it's the song right after the song that you really like,
Yeah. No,
and
it's
it just
it's
coming on after.
and the boredom that you had, the time that you had to be bored so that you can like be like, I'm gonna listen to that tape again. Like it kind of goes back to that too. Like we're infiltrating our lives so much with so much
Yeah,
information that we don't give the credit where the credit's due. Like for
yeah,
instance, like the amount of time it takes for certain influencers to produce their content.
yeah,
There are a lot of influencers that I see. They're like, okay, they're explaining step by step. Like this is what I got to do. Hey, yo, this is what it is, right? Like
yeah,
they're starting to be bold about it. You know, why is it that these influencers need to explain so much on the behind the scenes in order to communicate that credit? And in my opinion, I think it's got to do with the convenience of content and how much is being put out. It's like so much is being put out so fast that
yeah,
it's diluting the significance of these, like, even like these ping pong guys who are like bouncing the ball and they're like,
Yeah.
you ever see that? Like where they like bounce the ball off of the
Yeah.
this,
Trick
it hits it off.
shots.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
trick shots, right? It's like the amount of time it takes to balance things, or anyhow. I could go
Yeah.
on. The
I
content
feel
is
you.
not just like something that you make overnight. And
Yeah, we don't know how many takes it took to
Mhm.
get that trick shot and stuff. I think about that stuff all the time. Sometimes
Yeah.
you could watch some content and think, oh, it was like a one take thing.
Yeah, I mean, you
And
could
so,
have these flows too, where you're
yeah,
like,
for
sure,
sure.
like this flow it's working. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with my
it's
flow,
flowing.
and then
Yeah.
it creates great content too. So I don't know. It's
It's
an
different
open
for
ended world.
everybody too. And like everything
Yeah,
works, it's really about what works for you, I think.
yeah,
Because every
and yeah,
strategy could work, all these content strategies.
right. And in the end, I feel like we're ranting on this, but in the end, another point that I would say is like the quality is not as important as the consistency, right? Like you even hear about this talk with musicians, right? Like who goes on tour, right? Is it the best musician that plays all the notes right, or is it the musician who shows up and keeps their mouth quiet when they're touring, even when it's hard, and or like they keep a positive attitude, about touring, right? Like what type of musicians actually get on the scene.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I'm not saying they don't have talent. There's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah.
I don't mean, I don't mean to discredit the talent of artists that are touring, but touring is a hard gig.
Yeah.
Out of the choice to tour or have a family, I'm choosing to have a family, and
Yeah.
that's a and yes, I would like to tour, but that's more of a 3 to 5 year plan at this point. I'm
Yeah.
all about like what are my ETFs going to look like in 5 years? Like, how am I going to how am I
Yeah.
going to provide for my personal life as a foundation? Because I've seen a lot of musicians who just don't prepare, and then as a result, there's just too many outliers that interfere with their growth and success.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I'm like trying to diversify the models,
Yeah.
create these operating procedures, and then just become a successful music
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
patron.
Yeah, and just being real about the whole thing too. I think that's a realist perspective
Yeah,
of just
yeah,
being like, hey, I gotta get mine too. Like I like doing this, but I gotta find a way to maybe monetize, right? Do it.
right. Like if I'm not monetizing, okay, that's sort of how the world works. Someone else is gonna monetize off of it.
Yeah. And
Look
there's
at Sister
people.
Nancy,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like Sister Nancy, she lost a lot
Yeah.
just from being willing to be the first female sing J,
Yeah.
yeah, she lost a lot of money just from her performance being
Yeah.
basically given. She wasn't claiming her stake.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying maybe she should have or whatever. She was the first female in the industry, so who knows what she was up against.
Yeah.
But those type of risks, we're in an era now as musicians in America where we could look at it as a free enterprise, and we
Yeah.
could make the choice to utilize it in a way that could benefit us.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
And I
Yeah.
believe that's by diversifying the model so that you're not dependent on just one side of things, right?
Yeah.
Like that way you don't get angry at the venue because they didn't pay you enough,
Yeah.
or you don't get angry at the lead singer because they're not paying you to go to rehearsals or
Yeah.
whatever the chisme is, right? Like
Yeah.
you just let it off because you're like, it's all good. I've got royalties from this project that I did in 2005, or
Yeah.
I've got radio ads coming in from companies so that I can that I can support the analytics and their growth within my radio station, or
Yeah.
whatever your hustle is, like do it, make it work, and do it with respect and collaborate. I believe in the collaboration.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking, what would your dream collab be?
Ooh,
Right? I always feel like
yeah.
that's a good musician question.
Oh my God,
Cause like, what's
I
the
would love to
dream?
put a single out with Damian Marley. Like
Oh,
that would be my
okay,
dream
sick.
collab.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, he inspired me to write, like, and sing so
Yeah.
many ways. But like,
Definitely legend. Junior
yeah,
gone.
I mean that would be,
Big
hey
ups.
yo, Damien, if you're watching this, we need to do a single.
Yeah, man, I feel it. That would be hard, bro. I was just
Yeah.
listening to Welcome to Jamrock, and I didn't know he used
Yeah.
Goldberg's theme from WWE.
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
on one of his songs, which was the songs like "Doom" since the beginning of time.
Yeah, that
Is
was
that
Confrontation.
Okay,
Yeah, the first track.
Yeah,
I didn't
the
realize
first-
that. No, but there's a lot of really cool. They have a I've been into analog equipment too. Like they have this one device. It's by Akai. It's called the XR20, and it's a beat pad, a drum machine, and that thing's been really cool. It's got like these amazing sounds, but I found it to be more like complementary to a full setup. Like you can't just make an album with it, right? Like
Yeah.
I kind of look at gear like, hey, how much can I do with this, right? Like, can I do a full album with this, or is this gonna just run top layers? This is a drum machine that can do like really dope dance hall synth lines and like really dope kicks and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like percussive tops and stuff like that. So
Okay, dope.
it's supplemental to a
Yeah.
project, but I believe that it would create like a really great kind of Damian Marley-esque Welcome to Jamrock style
Okay,
album,
sick. Yeah.
or at least single, you know. So
The analog gears, it's kind of like the phones, you know, they're upgrading them. It's like a newer version. There's always new, like,
yeah, I know. So certain things don't apply anymore, like the MIDI input outputs
Yeah.
for some of the older stuff. Yeah, so I have an early 2000s Novation X Station 25, and I got to
Yeah.
tour on the East Coast with it for 10 days.
Oh,
And it
cool.
was with like this project that was like space folk. It was kind of deemed as.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
And it was like, yeah, it was like,
Space folk.
yeah, they did like I was responsible for the space sounds. Like I did all
Okay.
this everything like lasers.
It's like techno with folk or what?
Well, it was just like, you know, like the pew pew pew, or
Yeah.
like arpeggiated higher notes
Okay,
that were at
cool.
higher tempos. So like,
Yeah, just
you
some
know, like
layers. Adding some layers.
you know, like doing stuff at really high notes, high pitches, but like not ear piercing pitch, but like definitely like the upper mid range. And it was just really cool because, you know, we got to go to Harlem, Stafford Springs, Connecticut. We got to play in front of like ink shops, you know,
Oh,
and like
dope.
just
Yeah.
like in parks, you know,
Yeah.
just like a really and get a good feel of it. But I was using the synthesizer through the whole thing, and yeah, I mean that was fun. I mean, it's analog equipment is really cool because you could power it up with batteries too if you want. You could just like go out in the nature,
Okay,
and you can like
yeah.
it just gets you, it has an intimacy about it. Like it's nature and digital, right? It's not just like, I don't know, there's something about it that's really special.
We're gonna wrap it up, but let everybody know the plugs. Like, where can they find you?
You can find me at piratebuteradio.com. That's BUTTE is the it's pirate like a pirate buteradio.com, and then you can also find me at omnipro.com, which is my personal business. I do live performance and DJ. That's AUMNIPRO, omnipro.com. And yeah, those are the two plugs, man. I also I'm on the gram, omnipro, AUMNIPRO, and DJ Omnipro DJ is my Instagram handle. I got a show on me. I'm on Saturdays on the radio every week. Saturdays at 4 p.m. I do a recording during the week right now. Sometimes I go live, and those are more, hey, I'm going live. Those are more
Yeah.
on the spot. We also operate on the Xenu radio app, ZENU, Xenu radio app. And so you could find me there. My show is called JY Sound System. I'm on Pirate Beat Radio there. And yeah, that's where you'll find me.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So that's gonna wrap it up for the After Hours show. You guys be sure to check out Jah Yogi's stuff, and we'll see you guys next time.